All right. Thank you for staying with us. As the race for the Edo 2024 governorship election continues to gather steam, political parties, aspirants, and stakeholders are gearing up for the D-Day. The Independent National Electoral Commission has said the off-cycle election would be held on the 21st of September 2024, in line with the provision of Section 28, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022, that the Commission publish notice for the election not later than 360 days before the date of the election. As preparatory events leading up to the September polls draw closer, political watchers say it may end up being a closely contested three-horse race. Aspirants of the People's Democratic Party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, the Labour Party, are already making solid moves to help cement candidacy. And the aspirant under the platform of the Labour Party in Edo State, Ogbemudia Osage, a trained security expert, says he has much to offer to bring development to the state. Well, he joins us in the studio to tell us his plans to become his party's flag bearer and the lofty initiatives he also intends to implement if he becomes governor. If he becomes governor. I need to emphasize that. Good morning. It's good to have you in the studio. The last time we had this conversation, you were outside the country, but we see that elections are coming closer, and so you needed to come home, perhaps.
Yes. Yes, I have. Sorry, I've always been home, but as the election get closer, I wanted to come home and continue my tour of the local government I was doing before I left.
Right.
And by way of introduction, my name is Ogbemudia Osage. I'm from Uhi village in Uwunde local government of the state.
Right. You're welcome once again. Now, talk to us. There's been conversations around the fact that this is going to be a tough one, especially as we have a number of persons now throwing their hat into the ring. But I wonder what you see with regards to the Edo 2024 election.
Well, I know there are a lot of people that throw their hat in the race. I came into this race because I want to change. I want to make a difference in Edo. I want to serve my people. I have been a police officer for 24 years. And I also have a security company in Nigeria. I believe that experience positioned me more uniquely to lead Edo.
But there are those who would say that's just one sector. You are going to manage a myriad of sectors, and so you cannot just narrow it down to that experience helping you lead these people of diverse, so many diverse minds and languages. We know, yes, Edo has various, Edo South, North, East, and all of that. How are you going to lead these people with that experience? That is not enough.
Well, I grew up in Edo. I went to primary school, secondary school in Edo, and I understand it very well. I'm not just a police officer. I have 24 years experience in public service in a system that works. I want to bring that system to Edo. Toronto is the most diverse city in Canada and North America, and I have served the city of Toronto for 24 years. I'm bringing that diversity back to bring people, to bring unity, progress, and prosperity to Edo. So my experience is not just about being a law enforcement officer. It's about public service. What are my track record in terms of public sector, my ethical values, my integrity? I want to bring about change in Edo State. Most of the competitors, the other aspirants, as you can see, most of them are part of the system. I say they are part of the problem. I am part of the solution. I'm the solution. And I want changes, positive change, not just changes. A lot of people are out there. Obviously, they have money. They have gotten money from too many other places where they can spend the money and buy the people. What I'm telling the Edo people is that Edo 2024 is not for sales. It's for change. Edo deserves better. That's why I came out of my comfort zone to challenge the system, to bring about that positive change to Edo State. I believe Edo needs someone like me with a track record you can verify, and that's what I stand on.
I believe you know that Nigerians are actually wary of the word change. Whenever any election is coming out, people talk about change and they're wondering what kind of change. And I'm also wondering, because there are other candidates and there are people who had, led Edo to where it is now. It has incumbent governor and the deputy governor in the state. But I'm trying to think about what makes you believe that you're the right choice for the governor, for being a governor, and what sets you apart. Because there are different key challenges, just like Veronica tried to mention. facing Edo State. You said you had experience in the police force. So issues such as security, cultism, and value orientation, they are a thing. Flooding and erosion, another thing that is, taking away people's farmland, loss of homes and, livelihoods and etc. So how do you look to tackling, some of these very challenges in the state?
Well, the first thing I'll tell you is that Edo State doesn't have money. Edo State is poor. What we need is investment. I have the ability to bring that investment. I have my global perspectives to bring more people to invest in Edo State so that we can prosper. Edo have one of the largest diasporas, and they are waiting for me to be there so that they can invest. Because without investment, we can't even face the security problem. Without investment and creating jobs, we can't solve the unemployment. Edo State has about 40% youth unemployment. We can't have that. That's unacceptable. What I would do is to go back to the drawing board and make sure we increase vocational training, technical training, skills for our youth. I don't want education to be just about knowledge. I want education to be a tool to empower our youth so that they can get jobs even in Edo State or across the country, so we can be more productive and move them away from poverty. Another thing is our farmland. Go to Benin. I grew up in the village, and people don't believe it. But my mom raised money from farming to send me to Canada after secondary school. That's how I went to Canada. And I don't think there's any farmer in Edo State right now that can have that kind of money to send their child abroad. I want us to improve on what we already have. We have a Edo North Aunchi area with a lot of mineral resources. The Chinese are taking a lot of those resources out of that place. What I want to do is to have manufacturing industries in that area so that we can employ our people. Even if you have manufacturing industry in Edo right now, I can tell you there will be no staff to work there. But I want to train my people. I want to train our people so that we can have the youth can get employment, thereby we can reduce poverty. The most important thing is investment in our people, in our youth, in physical investment and every other thing. That's how we're going to solve the problem. And about what you said about why am I different? I'm different because I know the system that works. You cannot solve a problem if you don't know, if you cannot relate to the solution. If we are used to doing just one thing all the time, nothing has changed. I bring a better perspective. I bring more informed perspective. I have unrivaled global experience that none of the other candidates have. So that is why I told my people I'm coming to serve Edo State.
But you have not been with the people for some time now. So how do you know these are the issues that they really want addressed?
Okay, good question. I have always been with my people. If people can go on my website, osage2024.com.
Not everyone has access to...
Okay, well, the point I'm making is that since I've been abroad for about 30 years, every year, twice a year, I always come home. And I always go to my village. But for the past 6 years, since I have a security company in Nigeria, I have a branch in Lagos, a branch in Benin, I have over 350 guards, staff. And I relate to every one of those staff know who I am. They know me. So there's no better way.
Staff are expected to know their
They are supposed to know who they are boss.
Over 300 of them.
But so that does not mean the generality of the people.
But there's no place in Nigeria.
Do they represent the Edo South, Edo East, North? Did they come from all of these areas?
There's no place in Edo State I don't know. One of my grandmother is from, we talk about Isha. I've been to everywhere. Last time I came, I went to each and every local government. I spoke to people. I consulted with everyone. I went back abroad. I went to New York. I went to major cities in North America. I consulted with the Edo people before I decided to throw my hat in it. I asked them, what is the problem we have? One of our biggest problems, he mentioned it, is cultism. In Edo State, I can tell you that majority of youth are into one court or the other. We don't need to hide about it. We all know. I have cousins, brother. I said it before, I'll say it again. There's no aspect, department in Edo State where we don't have a court member. Whether in local government chairman, whether in government office, whether the legislative assembly, there are court member everywhere. But what I am going to do, we need a neutral person to bring all of them together and say, enough of this nonsense. We have to stop killing each other. We have to pave the way for progress. But you cannot get any of those guys who are already member of one or the other to trust each other. You need a governor that you can trust. You need a governor that have integrity. You need a governor that have a good track record, that people can say, yes, Basio Sage is there. I know him. I'm going to support him. If you want to know about me, go to Toronto. Go everywhere. Talk to any Edo person that live abroad. I'm not just being away. I was the chairman of the local government area, my local government area of Canada for about 10 years. Through that, we did a lot of initiative. We brought some hospital equipment. We brought so many things. But what I tell you is that there's always a barrier to delivering those things. You have to bribe the Commissioner of Health to give hospital bed to a clinic in my village. You have to bribe the Commissioner of Education.
So how do you intend to address it? So because this is quite a weighty allegation right now. Right. So how do you intend to address all of these bottlenecks, knowing that these are issues? How do you also want to build trust from the people? Because now you have mentioned you have been speaking with them and some of the things that they've been mentioning, and you're trying to address some critical issues with terms of cultism. And then you mentioned this matter now. But they must trust you that they must see that they can trust you to give you their vote as it is, that you are able to give them an alternative. If you are saying, stop this matter of cultism, what is the alternative for them? It's a mindset thing. How do you want to change that?
But the thing is that they already trust me. They know, anybody knows, sitting here in Nigeria, know, for me to make that progress I've made in Toronto, to be where I am today, where I've been a detective, has different praises. People in Toronto don't just give you a position. They give it to you because it's trusted. You have integrity. That's one thing. The other thing we talk about is...
Trust is relative. Yes, what might be trust to them in Toronto is different from...
It's true. It's true, but it's a general integrity test that people have to go through. But what I'm saying is that that's why some people will say, well, why don't you become a local government chairman, House of Rep member? That's why I'm not doing any of that. I want to be the governor and change the system so that we don't have to bribe a Commissioner of Health, because I will appoint people of integrity into those positions. Let me just give you a quick story. I hope I would deviate too much. About 10 years ago, the Toronto police were phasing out analog radio to digital radio. I called the IG up here in Nigeria, speak to the PSO. I said, look, buddy, we've got about radios that we're giving out. The people from the Caribbean are taking some. I can bring a couple of hundreds to Nigeria. I need a letter to bring them. The guy asked me, how much it's going to cost? I said, it's going to cost nothing. Just send me a letter that you want it. Oh, just put like $1. I realized that this guy was trying to get money from even though it's free. And then I said, no, I'm not doing that. They sent me a letter a few days later that they also in the process of getting a digital radio. No, analog. I was really disappointed. I knew he was lying to me because one digital radio is cost $7,000. So after all that, anybody can verify this. The guy is still alive. When you look at this thing, you realize that for you to make progress in those states, especially in Nigeria, you got to start from the top and from the bottom. And unless you understand the system that works, unless you understand these issues, I'll just give you an example that I know what's going on in Nigeria. So just unless you understand this issue and you can relate to the good way to do it, it's not going to be possible.
I'm keen on understanding, because you said it twice now, and so it's somewhat weighty allegation, saying that for you to be able to achieve what you were able to achieve, especially in your locality, you had to, bribe your way through. And this is something that's been a bane in Nigeria's, system, corruption and bribery. Did you really have to, go the whole log of having to bribe the ministry or whatsoever it's responsible for you to be able to achieve what you were able to achieve, in this time?
I'll give you
get that clear.
I'll give you a good example, which everybody stay alive, they can see it. We have, I'm from Uhi village. We do have Uhi diaspora that will contribute to build our primary school. We rebuilt our primary school in our village. I wanted the Commissioner of Education to commission it. They were hesitant to do it. I flew in, tried to talk to the commissioner. They wouldn't do it. I'm confused. Why would they not go to the school with us? Then some of my team said, you know what, Oga, we have to give them something, otherwise they won't go. That's a practical example. My radio example is also a practical example. When I brought in hospital equipment, I can tell you some of those equipment got rotten in my house in Benin because the people would not take it to the hospital unless we give them bribe.
And you think you can just challenge this system that is already ingrained, so to speak?
As the governor, I'm running the whole, I want to go say bad language. As the governor, I'm running the whole thing. I'm in charge of it. I will appoint people that have integrity.
These people are within the system. Don't you?
They don't have to be all being within the system.
Okay.
I'm not in the system. I'm not going to continue with people that are part of the problem. And I'm telling you right now, when I become the governor of Edo State, no one who is part of the problem will be part of my administration. You cannot be. If it's either you're part of the problem or part of the solution. I am the solution. And everyone that will come with me will be part of the solution. Not everybody is bad in the system, but we will get those that are good. And the bad ones, we will leave them for history.
It's good to know that you also agree that not everyone is bad.
No, not everyone.
Some people must have been tainted, by the overall generality, direction.
And some people have no choice. You just got to flow with the system.
I just wanted to also clarify that, you had also participated in the concept of if you can't beat them, then you join them. Because if you had not been able to allow that bribery to go, there was no way you could have done that. So is that to say that if you become the governor, you probably would do something like it?
Okay, let me correct that. I never say I bribed them. I said for you to go to the ministry, they have to ask for bribe. You have to bribe them.
Did you give them?
Take the books. I never gave any money, anything to anyone to say, here, take the equipment to the hospital. That's why I told you some of the equipment rusted in my house in Benin, because there's no way I can put myself to giving a government official money. I've never bribed anyone. Even I flew from the airport last night. I can tell you, I don't give bribe, I don't take. Remember, I've been Toronto police officer for 24 years. That is not acceptable. It's not even something you think about. So you have to understand the mindset. We don't even think about it. That's why I said you need someone who doesn't have that mindset at all. Someone like me, who the first thing I'm thinking about is service. Service to the people. I'm not thinking about, oh, what do I give to get what? Yes, I didn't really get to know a lot of these things until when I have a security company.
But you're the son of the soil. How didn't you know about it?
But when I was growing up, Nigeria wasn't this bad. When I was growing up, Edo wasn't this bad. Now, everybody, you got to bribe everyone to get things done. But I'm hoping that now we have a new administration, people start. Let me just say one thing. The majority of our problem in Nigeria is morality. People's moral values are so low. It's not just the government. People's moral values are so low. Ethical values are so low. And people with integrity are so few. That is the problem in Nigeria. It's not even the government.
And identifying these people is quite a challenge.
Yeah, it's not even the government. I was at the airport yesterday. I was like, wow, these people have changed. Obviously, the new minister is doing a great job. I want to take the opportunity to challenge him. I don't know what parties belong to, but I'm for good Nigeria. I'm for a better Nigeria. He has done an amazing job at the airport. And I want to salute the gentleman that is doing that. That's what I want to do.
So
emulate people like the minister.
Challenge the system. You said that morality is low as we speak. And we know that during the time of campaigns and all of it, there are those who have, thrown their hat into the ring to contest for one position or the other. Talk about how it is that you need a war chest to be able to scale through some of the hurdles that you would meet in the process of meeting with people, speaking with people, and all of it. How do you intend to address that?
Well, the first thing is that even at Labour Party, I joined Labour Party because Labour Party is supposed to be for the masses, for the people, for the middle class. And I know some people have infiltrated Labour Party from the other side of the aisle, and now they are throwing money out there. They are giving people money, any money they want. They can give them, they can accept. I'm not going to play that politics. Like I said, I did not become part of the problem. But once I get the nomination, we'll get donation. Before I came down now, I went to New York. I was in New York about a week ago doing fundraising for my campaign. I was in Chicago. I was in Montreal. I'm raising money among Edo in diaspora to run my campaign. I'm not getting money because I'm a rich man. I make good money, yes, but it's not enough to do this campaign. My people in diaspora are supporting me. They are still raising money for me online as we speak. That's how we're going to get the money. We will have more money than them, but we are not going to bribe the way they bribe. We're not going to pay people to support me. What I want the Edo people is look at my track record. Read about me. If you don't read about me, come talk to me. And let's vote people with integrity. These people that are throwing money out there, the question you should ask them, this guy is giving you millions of naira to vote. How did they get the money? Are they not going to have to put that money back where they got it from? If somebody knows who's sponsoring them, we should be asking questions. Edo people need to let the whole world know we are different. We are not going to sell our vote. We are not going to sell this position to the highest bidder. we're going to give to someone who have a track record we can verify. And we should also challenge other aspirants to come on TV like this, to talk to the people, not to hide behind giving Ghana must go to the leaders. Let them come out, let's debate the issue, let's tell the Edo people what we are going to do for them. And I welcome more challenges. And I'm going to be going to every local government in Edo State to let them know we are ready for work.
It's always very good to see, when you see aspirants, when they are always willing to challenge, they're always the one you find, coming to people, talk to people and challenge the status quo. But probably when they become incumbent, it's difficult for them to come out. But that's not where I'm going. Let's speak about Edo in the diaspora. At the point in time, you were also in the diaspora, for a long time before you decide to come home. A lot of people are looking to Japa, and Benin, Edo as a state is not, left. Is not left behind in this drive. And we see what UK is trying to do to close its borders against, tighten its immigration policies against immigrants. What plans or programs do you have to, bring up or to reduce the level of Japa syndrome that is facing Nigeria? How would you want to? Yeah, especially in Edo State. How would you want to, tackle it if you eventually become the governor? Because they will also say to you that, well, you also Japa at a point in time.
Okay. When I that time was in Jackpot, that time was just my mom looking at me saying, you know what, you need to attend your university. Well, going back to the point, the best way to stop this Jackpot syndrome is to give ordinary people good education. Like I said, if someone had good vocational training, a technical school in Benin City was established by the Canadian government. That was established so they can give our people the training. The best way not to Jackpot, I keep saying that. Is that what I have always said is that I have children in Canada. I don't lie about that. My kids were born and raised in Canada, and they enjoy the privileges. What I want to do is that bring that privilege, that Canada to Edo State, so that the people of Edo State will enjoy the same privilege that my children enjoy, so they can get the same advantage that they have. What do we have in Canada that we give us an advantage? Free education, training. When you finish school, you get a job. When you get a job, you make things easy for them. We have a lot of talented young people in Edo State. I'm going to encourage entrepreneurship. I'm going to give market women, they are the backstone of our economy. We're going to train them, training program, give them small interest-free loan so they can expand their businesses. That is the only way you're going to stop it. You can't just stop it by talking. What a lot of our leaders are doing is talking. And when they talk about Edo, you say Edo looks so beautiful. But when you go there, it's not what they say. It's not what is there. Edo State has the largest number of diaspora, yes. But we will stop it by giving them hope, by giving them opportunity, by giving them job, by removing them from poverty, by making sure that when they are sick, they don't die because of high blood pressure. Those are the things I'm going to do. So they don't die by accident on the road. The roads are not good. Once it rains in Edo State, let's just say Benin City, the whole place is flooded. Why? Lack of planning by the government. I'm going to bring the expert Edo people abroad. Because we are so many abroad, there's no area profession that we don't have an Edo person. There's no factory. I have guys in Toronto that have breweries. They have a pharmaceutical company, construction company. They are ready to come home. They just want somebody they can trust, somebody they can have faith in like me, so that we can come home and start to build Edo back.
All right. Quickly, there was an opera that an aspirant did not know how to speak the language, and he had to get an interpreter. Can you still speak the language? And if you can't, perhaps speak to your people, let them hear.
That was very disgraceful to have the guy, I think I'll say his name, I don't can say it. Okay, I won't say his name then.
Right.
He couldn't speak his language, had an interpreter. And for me,
can you?
Yeah, of course. Ovie do wahin, ovie do pataki ehin. I made do nigwaze, ovie do walaho. Why gawa mwe this position owano wa mwigore wa wazi our muna. Wagamu owano gwaze wuni maze. Omano no ewe uje do na ruji ni we do he. Omano ewe na even do hin owano wa mwigore awa we no wa ro edole doji. Omano mai gwaze we my na ze we ya dole doji he. It's not possible. What I'm saying is that if your language is your heritage, your language is your culture, your language, everything about you. If you cannot speak your language, then you got a problem.
Right.
And we cannot trust you to hold that position. My children, just before my children were born in Canada. We have a Edo language school in Toronto that I call when we established it. my children understand Edo. They cannot speak it very well, but they don't need interpreter.
This was an issue for a majority of persons when that incident
Even
happened.
the one we have now doesn't speak it anyway. So that was a mistake 8 years ago.
Right. He's still the governor. Anyway, we have to leave this conversation here now. We must thank you, Ogbemudia Osagi, governorship aspirant for Edo 2024 on the Labour Party, right? And there's a number of aspirants, about 15 of them. More.
We'll see
right.
what happens in
we'll see what happens
in
the fullness of time, and we can only wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
I'm grateful to be here.
Right.